running, and Principal in the centre, and Foinavon and Kirtle Lad and Rutherford's are the first to show, and it's Rutherford's on the inside from Principal and Foinavon. Then comes Kirtle Lad on the outside. Coming towards the Melling Road now with Rutherford's the leader. From Principal towards the outside, Kirtle Lad, Foinavon, Lucky Domino up there on the inner. And as they cross the Melling Road, Rutherford's, Lucky Domino, Principal, and over on the far side, Kirtle Lad, we join our country cameras and Bob Haynes.
And now to the first of the 30 fences, and Castle Falls is disputing it with Penvalgo and Principal. Those three jumped it together, and Barberin right up between them as they jump the first, and they're not all over because Bassnet is down, and Meon Valley is down, and Popham Down has fallen. Those three are the fallers at the first, the leaders over the second, Penvalgo over from Barberin, then Principal on the inside of Castle Falls, then comes Capino. Then comes Kirtle Lad, Rutherford's, Lucky Domino, and April Rose. And now over the third, that's the open ditch. They're running on to the fourth, and it's Principal and Penvalgo from Rutherford's, Barberin and Kirtle Lad, and over to Michael O'Hare.
And as they come to this next fence, Castle Falls on the outside, and in the centre, Principal and Penvalgo. The Fossa not far behind these, Dunwitty just behind them too, as also is Barberin. Coming out to this next fence, which is the fence before Beechers, it's Penvalgo, who's just the leader with Principal, and then closely follows Barberin, Dunwitty, the Fossa, different class, Capino. These are all in a group together. Lucky Domino along the inside with Rutherford's. Coming out to Beechers, they're just approaching Beechers now with Penvalgo the leader. He's just ahead of Principal, and then comes Barberin, Dunwitty, Lucky Domino, Rutherford's, Castle Falls, and all over so far. A bad mistake there by Principal, but he got over it all right, and they all seem to be over Beechers all right. And turning now towards this next fence, the fence after Beechers, it is Penvalgo who leads from Principal. Rutherford is next, then Dunwitty, Lucky Domino, the Fossa, Rondetto. Then on the far side is Barberin, then Castle Falls, Capino comes next, then Ozzy, Harry Black, Leedsy, Freddy, then Quinton Bay and Norther. These are the leaders as they go over the canal turn with Penvalgo the leader from Principal, who's being followed along on the inside by Rutherford's. Then Dunwitty, Castle Falls is next, and on the far side of Castle Falls is Barberin. The Fossa, different class, going smoothly. Just behind them is Rondetto and also Capino. And as they go now to this next fence with Penvalgo the leader from Rutherford's, I hand over to Michael Smith.
And Johnny Lehane giving Penvalgo the most wonderful ride. He's giving him a wonderful view of all his fences. He's over first. Rutherford's made a bad mistake there. Quintin Bay and Barberin and Principal are up with the leaders, and Castle Falls on the wide outside going very well, and I can see John Lawrence on Northern not far behind the leaders as they come to this next fence, and Kirtle Lad is going up to join the leaders. I'll try and give you the order as they come up to the next. It's Principal and Rutherford's from Kirtle Lad, Castle Falls, Penvalgo, the Fossa, Stan Mellor giving a great ride to the Fossa. He's only a length behind the leaders as they go over the next. Capino made a slight mistake there. Freddie going very nicely on the inside, about 12 lengths behind the leaders, and David Mole having a quick look round on his shoulder on different class. He's only about 6 lengths behind the leaders, but with Principal and Kirtle Lad and Rutherford's, the three leaders as they recross the Melling Road at Anchor Bridge back to the grandstand.
Principal, Kirtle Lad, then comes Rutherford's. Castle Falls towards the outside, then Rondetto, then Quinton Bay. Barberin is right up with them. Penvalgo, then different class. And they're levelling up to come to the next now, with Principal disputing it with Castle Falls towards the outside, Kirtle Lad on the inner, then Rutherford's, then Rondetto just in behind them, and then comes different class. Just in behind different class is Quinton Bay. Norther there on the outside, and as they jump this one, it's Principal just the leader from Castle Falls, Rutherford in third place, then comes Kirtle Lad, then the Fossa. Just behind the Fossa is Capino, with Quinton Bay towards the outside, then Norther, then Barberin, then comes Game Purston, and Castle Falls on the outside, right up here with Principal. Then Rutherford's on the far side with Kirtle Lad, then Rondetto, then the Fossa, then Quinton Bay, then Capino, then Norther, then comes different class, Leedsy. Behind Leedsy is Greek Scholar, and as they jump the chair, it's Castle Falls on the inside, then Principal, Rutherford's on the far side, and then Kirtle Lad, and these four just ahead of Rondetto. Then comes the Fossa. Behind the Fossa is Capino, then Greek Scholar, then Quinton Bay, and then Leedsy, and different class and Norther, and then comes Penvalgo, and then Kilburn and Freddie. Behind Freddie is Lime King, and then Barberin and Ossie. Behind Ossie is Harry Black, and then on the inside Red Alligator with Game Purston and Lucky Domino and Solbina and What a Myth. And behind What a Myth is Honey End, and then comes Bobber Job. Behind Bobber Job is Tower Road, and then comes Steel Bridge, then Scottish Final and Packed Home, and then Foinavon, and behind Foinavon is Ross C, and behind Ross C is Dunwoody, and Ariel is just jumping the water. He's about 2 furlongs behind the leaders, and now it's Kirtlead on the inside, Rutherford's on the outer, then comes Principal, then Castle Falls, then Capino. Behind Capino is Rondetto and Greek Scholar, and that's the order as they come to the next to be rejoined Bob Haynes.
This is fence number 17, and there's still an awful lot left standing, and the loose horse jumped it first, but right up just in behind that is Kirtlead, Rutherford's, then Principal, Castle Falls, Capino, Rondetto, then the Fossa, then comes Greek Scholar, then comes Leedsy and Norther and Different Class, and after that Quintin Bay. Now on towards fence number 19, the open ditch again, and it's Rutherford's from Kirtlead on the inside, then comes Principal, then Rondetto, who's going terribly well I think at the moment, then comes Castle Falls, Greek Scholar, Leedsy, then comes Quintin Bay and Different Class and Barberin, and on to the next plain fence, 2 before Beeches, and over to Michael O'Hare.
And it's Kirtlead along the inside, Principal in the centre, Castle Falls out on the outside with Capino just behind him, the Fossa just behind these two, and a Different Class moving smoothly with Rondetta, and Norther is just behind the leaders too. Castle Falls on the extreme outside now is just the leader over this, and as they're heading now towards Beeches for the second time, it is Castle Falls with Principal, Capino, Rondetto, Rutherford along the inside, the Fossa, Norther, then Kirtlead and Greek Scholar together, and here they are at Beeches and over Beeches. The loose horse is over in front. He doesn't seem to interfere with any. Rutherford's lost a bit of ground there, but he's all right, and they're turning out of the fence after Beeches, and as they do, the leader is Castle Falls with Rutherford's along the inside, and Rutherford has been hampered, and so has Castle Falls. Rondetto has fallen, Principal has fallen, Norther has fallen, Kirtlead has fallen, the Fossa has fallen. There's a right pile up. Leedsy has climbed over the fence and left his jockey there, and now with all this mayhem, Foinavon has gone off on his own. He's about 50, 100 yards in front of everything else. They're all pulling up, having a look now to see what's happening at the fence. Ozzy is jumping over it now. Quintin Bay is climbing over it. And as they go now to the canal turn, the one that's going to the canal turn happens to be Foinavon. And he's 100 yards in front of Kirtlead, and then comes packed home, Quintin Bay and Ozzy together. Greek Scholar is next, and the mess is almost over now, as they're coming now to Valentine's. At least when I say they're coming, it's Foinavon who's coming. And he is roughly 200 yards in front of everything else. Foinavon, Ozzy is second, packed home is third, and then come Quintin Bay and Greek Scholar together over Valentine's. Well, the leader is at the fence ahead. That's Foinavon, and over to Michael Seth Smith.
Well, this is the most incredible national. Foinavon, I've never seen a horse at this stage of the race so far. He's going quite easily. He ran in the Cheltenham Gold Cup, and we didn't think much of his chance there, but as he comes to the next, he's nearly a fence in front, and he jumps in, and he's jumping very well. This blinkered horse, Foinavon, he's literally 200 yards in front of the second horse, who's packed home, and then comes Ozzy, and behind them Greek Scholar. Terry Biddlecombe trying to make up the ground, but Foinavon's going so well, I don't think he can possibly be caught, but he jumped the next rather badly. He's still over 100 yards in front. Ozzy in second place. Terry Biddlecombe coming up, full of running on Greek Scholar, but they're a long way back. It's just a question of whether Foinavon can maintain his lead, and as he goes over the Melling Road again at Anchor Bridge, he's still over 150 yards in front, with Terry Biddlecombe on Greek Scholar in second place, trying to get on terms. Ozzy third, packed home fourth, and with that, back to the grandstand.
Still a long way clear. Foinavon, the only one that missed the melee at Beeches, with Greek Scholar chasing him now. Then comes Ozzy, then comes packed home. Honey End is finishing like a train just in behind him, and it's still Foinavon a long way clear from Greek Scholar in second place. Ozzy is third. Honey End has now moved into fourth, and he's running on like a train behind him. But coming to the second last now, it's Foinavon and John Buckingham. Blinkered Foinavon a long way clear. Greek Scholar is second. Honey End is fourth. Coming to the second last in the national now, and Foinavon is over. He's towering, but he's well clear. Greek Scholar and Honey End jumping together. Honey End's jumped in second. He's moved into second place now. Coming to the final fence, and Foinavon a long way clear of Honey End in second place. Greek Scholar is third. It may still be a race. Honey End is still making ground, but Foinavon is over and clear, about 150 yards ahead of Honey End, who's still driving on into second place. Third is Greek Scholar. Fourth is Red Alligator, who's finishing fast. Then comes packed home, but it's Foinavon holding Honey End as they race towards the line. Foinavon, the unconsidered outsider, and John Buckingham holding Josh Gifford on Honey End. Then comes Greek Scholar and Red Alligator. They're racing up towards the line now, and it's Foinavon who missed that melee at Beeches, going well clear to a fantastic Grand National triumph. Honey End is second. Red Alligator's coming up to be third, and at the line John Buckingham looks over his shoulder, sees there's no danger, ears pricked. Foinavon wins the National. Honey End is second. Third is Red Alligator. Fourth is Greek Scholar. Then packed home, and then comes
Grand National of all time. 44 riders, 43 losers, but one man was going to ride the winner. And what a surprise. This was the weather. What a day. These were the losers. And these were the winners. Bob each way punters, hundreds of on-the-nose backers. Well, it just wasn't their day. If only they'd known. Somewhere there was Foinavon. No form, no chance, they said. 100-to-1 winner. Even Kirtle Lad must have been more in the running. But it was Foinavon with the biggest odds for 20 years that was to be first home. Lined up and raring to go. They were away first time. Storming towards the first jump and the first bad omen for punters. It claimed second favourite Bassnet and two others, Meehan Valley and Pop 'em Down. Volgo and Principal led the field into the second. Early moments yet, but there was no change in the order as they went into number 3. Volgo and Principal still made the running, but anyone with money on Vulcano, April Rose and Doriment had lost it already. Gamely plugging away somewhere in the field was the Grand National Grandpa, 67-year-old Tim Durrant on Ariel the Third. Over the fifth they went, order still the same, and plenty of big hopes with lots of time to make the running later on, holding back. This was Beecher's, the jump that next time round would preface one of the biggest dramas the course had ever seen. Volgo was on his own, running for the canal turn. This was one time when the sharp left-hander didn't claim any victims. At Valentine's Brook, nothing really sensational. A few callers. The favourite was still going strong and handy, with Josh Gifford biding his time and keeping the sweet smell of success for Honey End and the punters at the 10th. Showing strongly at the 11th was Rutherford's. Kirtle Lad kept close. Now the field had opened up. Was one that didn't make it to the water jump. The last obstacle of the first circuit, but it was a bit much to expect the same form as last year from the 66 winner. And on they went into the second sensational circuit. None of them could know that a couple of minutes ahead, they'd be involved in the most incredible pile-up of all time. Jump 17, the first of the fateful few. Rutherford's was holding the lead. Kirtle Lad was still there with him. Order unchanged at the 19th, but Kilburn was out. Our camera car was close as they galloped on to jump 20. The lead remained with Rutherford's, Kirtle Lad and Principal. Running into Beecher's, two loose horses were first over. But this was where the fantastic full stop to the Grand National began. No callers, everyone safe over. Ahead, a simple gorse fence. But it was not to be. Pop 'em down. A first jump faller really popped them down. Different Class, the Fossa, Lime King, Norther, Dunwoody all went down. Watch the incredible pileup. Out of the shambles, one horse appeared, complete with rider, Foinavon. But at the 23rd, it was chaos. Horses were going in all directions. Some of them back the way they'd just come. Some jumped, some just clambered over. Somehow, most of the runners got going again. But a long way ahead was Foinavon. Jockey John Buckingham could hardly believe his luck. Over the canal turn, and he was more than 200 yards ahead of the field. Nobody could hope to catch him. But there were some triers. Honey End wasn't going to let him get away with it too easily. Foinavon safely into and over Valentine's. Only a fall could keep him from being first. What a day for the bookies! This was the last fence between Foinavon and the £17,000 victory. Honey End had closed the gap, but not nearly enough. Foinavon, tired, slowing, but unbeatable, ran for home. That was the win that made it bookies' boom day and shattered the hopes of thousands. In the winner's enclosure, no owner, no trainer. Neither could be at Aintree to greet the winner of the Grand National 1967. Never in a million years did they expect a win. And there he was, the best of the bunch. No wonder he was all steamed up.